Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about handmade carpets from around the world. I welcome you to our channel and I hope you and your family are doing well. In today's episode, I'm going to be featuring a type of tribal handmade Persian rug that is really also a deep part of the Kurdish culture. The Kurdish people of Iran have blessed us with some of the most remarkable types of handmade carpets. And the most common, the most popular type, the one rug that is synonymous with the Kurdish people are the Bidjar rugs. Well, there is, in addition to the Bidjar rugs, another type of Persian rug that is literally a part of the Kurdish culture. It is something that as my family always used to say, the Kurdish people have blessed us with. And these are the rugs that are commonly referred to as Senneh or Sanandaj, depending on who you talk to. They basically refer to the same type of rugs. These are tribal rugs, and I got two examples of them right here. And then in this video, I'm also going to be featuring a rug that one of my subscribers shared with me, Collins, from, I believe, the Far East. One of my subscribers sent me some pictures. He watched my video on how to send me the information that I needed. And I'm going to feature his rug and share his carpet with you and show you a little bit about how, again, I was able to determine what it was. But since he asked me about the Senneh rugs, I figured this would be a perfect occasion to showcase. As I've done in the past with the Bidjar rugs, I'm going to showcase you one of the most traditional types of tribal rugs and hopefully also pay my respects to the Kurdish people and the culture that blessed us with these beautiful carpets. So if you are into Persian rugs or you want to learn more about the Kurdish culture and the influence that it has had in what is now Iran, what used to be Persia, please watch this video. I think you're going to enjoy this, and I'm going to be giving you more information later on as well on how to contact me if you have any questions and all that. So to get started, first of all, let me step aside here for a little bit. I'm going to, here's the map of Iran, and Sanandaj is a city that is basically the province capital of what is the Kurdish the Kurdish province of Iran. And this is where my American English gets me in trouble. We don't use the word province in the United States. And so every time when I hear that word, I always get things mixed up. But anyways, in the Kurdish province in Iran, which is in western Iran, as you can see, the capital of that province is Sanandaj. In the old days, it used to be also called Senneh. It's a mountainous part of Iran. It actually kind of reminds me, even though I've never been there, looking at pictures and everything, as you can see here, it reminds me of my home back in Colorado. Colorado is also a mountain region. We got the Rocky Mountains. Well, in the Kurdistan or the Kurdish part of Iran, mountainous terrain, and you can see, and there is a very special picture that I also found, and these are pictures that I've taken off of Google, but there's one in particular that I really liked, and this is the cliff homes that you see right here. This is also one of the common popular pictures of Sanandaj. Well, I have to show you something, and that is the picture of the cliff dwellings, Native American. This is my hometown. This is when, like I said, I split my time between our warehouse here in Hamburg, Germany, and my home in Colorado. In my city, Colorado Springs, we have the Native American cliff dwellings that were built centuries ago, that were habited by the Pueblo Indians. So for any of you who happen to be in the United States, there is something definitely worth checking out. But for someone who loves the mountains and everything, obviously when I see Kurdistan and I read about it and I've got to know the people, they are beautiful people, very strong-minded, very hardworking people. And they also make some of the very classic types of Persian rugs. Now, you have, for example, the Bidjars. If you are into Persian rugs, chances are you know about the Bidjar rugs. These are what is known as the steel rugs. They are triple knotted, virtually indestructible. You just can't go wrong with them. These are actually the type of rugs I have in my own home. I like the old classic kind of Persian rugs. But there is the other type, and that is what you see right here, the Senneh. We refer to them as Senneh, but you will also see a lot of rug retailers refer to them as Sanandaj type carpets. So it really depends on who you're going to be talking to. But these are tribal designs that go back centuries. Sometimes you have them in the form of, this is, to my right, this is an antique, it's borderline kelim. Then you have the ones like the one on my left here. It's almost borderline Bidjar. This is a very thick pile. This is a very, to my right is the thin pile. Kelim to my, right, left. There we go, sorry. As you can see, I don't edit my videos. I like to do it in one shot. So sometimes mistakes and stupidity go hand in hand. So on my left here is a rug that is very similar to what the Bidjars would be. So this could actually be offered as a low-grade Bidjar. And the Senneh type, the Senneh rugs are, generally speaking, a lot of them very inexpensive and very, they can really, these are Persian rugs, obviously made of wool, cotton foundation. And generally speaking, in the old days, they were all made with vegetable dyes. Nowadays, the newer pieces, not so much so. They use a combination of vegetable dyes and commercial dyes. But generally speaking, what sets them apart with the city rugs, like for example, Tabriz, Isfahan, and Qom and all that, is the fact that the tribal rugs, they tend to stick to vegetable dyes, wools, and what I call simplicity. This geometric design is very classic. You don't have dozens of different colors. You can see the similarities in the terms of the colors. You can see the geometric patterns. This is classic for these types of rugs. And this is also something that people, home decor folks, some of them, this is what they want. This is a rug where it has literally withstood the test of time. It was as popular centuries ago as it is now. And it's really something that it goes to the pride. And I would also say maybe even a little bit to the stubbornness of the Kurdish people. And I absolutely love them. They know something. They have perfected something. And no one is going to tell them what to do and what to say. And I love them for it. And this design is absolutely Kurdish. It is something that I think it's amazing to look at. As I always do, I'm going to get behind the camera later and show you some of the details. Now, and before I do, I want to just point out to you, I'm going to introduce you to Colin's rug in a little bit and show you some of the features. But just want to let you know, if you are new to our channel, if you like to see videos about Persian rugs, or you just like the general information, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you hit the like button, I thank you for it in advance. But more importantly, actually, if you have questions, feel free to look below in the description. I have a link to a video in which I briefly describe how I need the pictures and what details that I need. I don't need you to be an expert, but if you are looking for information, as I'm about to introduce you to Colin's rug, he's one of our subscribers. He saw my videos, he has a rug, and he wanted to know a little bit of information about it. This is something I do in my spare time. I have no problems answering questions. And so if you have questions, always feel free to, you can check us out at mprugs.com. There's also the email link. And so that is basically just what I wanted to throw in at this point. So to give you an idea, we had I want to introduce you. Of course, this is with his full permission. And we have Colin's rug right here. And this rug was, and do apologize, I have to, like I said, I don't do the editing of the videos. I kind of like to do them in one shot. Here you have Colin's rug. And Colin sent me the pictures, asked me for information. He watched my video about the type of pictures that I need in terms of the size of the pictures, what pictures, and what part, from what angles and all that stuff. And as I always point out in the video, less than 1 megabyte in size. And so he sent me these four pictures. The first picture is of the whole rug. This tells me right away what type of rug it is most likely. And being that I've been in the rug business for enough years, I can look at a picture and say, okay, well, there is something, it is definitely handmade, looks Persian, but I'm going to obviously look at some of the other pictures. The second picture, and this is also quite common, he sends it to me of the center. The center, it reiterates what I think it is, but it's more of a visual thing. The next two pictures are going to be really where it gets down to, it's the bread and butter. The next picture, which is one of the pictures that I ask everyone to take when they ask me for help. And that is the corner of the rug flipped over. The corner picture of the rug with the corner flipped over. That tells me not only is the rug handmade, but by looking at the knots and how it was woven, looking at the fringes, it tells me the type of rug. And it also gives me an idea for the condition and everything else. So if somebody were to ask me, in terms of importance of pictures, this corner picture that he has sent me, that is alongside the top picture that shows me the whole rug, the single most important picture. And lastly, as you can see here, I got a picture with the ruler. The picture of the ruler in the back, it shows me the condition of the rug. It shows me the KPSI. Now, Colin's made He also gave me the size of the rug, and he had already himself measured the KPSI and everything. It wasn't really necessary for me because, again, looking at all 4 pictures, I was able to determine that yes, what Collins has here is Senneh. It's a beautiful handmade rug. It's a tribal rug, and as I pointed out to him, if he Googles Senneh or Sanandaj rugs, he will see, he can then read about it, the city of Sanandaj. He can read about how it has about 450,000 the population, how it is about 100 kilometers away from the Iraqi border, as well as from the town of Bidjar. And he can go on. I mean, he can spend hours researching it. And it's something that a lot of my clients, they like. When they see a rug, it inspires them, being that it is handmade and being that it is for most people a foreign culture. Sometimes, you know, when you buy something, you think, you know what? I have it in my hand. Let me find out a little bit about who these people are that made it. So if you are one of those people, like I said, the Sanandaj, the Senneh rugs is definitely something that I love them. And as far as, and one of the other things that I like about them is the fact that they're very durable and they tend to be inexpensive. What I mean by that is, I'm just going to give you an example. This piece to my left, which is like 3 foot by 5, actually it's more like 6 foot, about a meter, 1.8 meters by 1.2 meters. This piece right there, this is something that would probably cost you no more than $300 or $400. Because these rugs are located in our warehouse in Germany, I don't offer them because sometimes the shipping of these rugs actually costs more than the rug itself. So these are the types of rugs that you will oftentimes, you'll find them in the rug stores. And now this is where it also gets a little bit tricky. They come oftentimes in 2 price ranges. And this is why I also specifically chose these 2 pieces. The one on my left, a few $100s. The one on my right, on the other hand, this is a very long runner. This is about 4.5 meters, about 14 feet in length. This runner is about 100 years old, and you're looking at thousands of dollars or thousands of euros. This is a very antique, very excellent condition type of rug, and just a beautiful marvel to look at. And what also sets apart the value, when you talk about antique rugs, I thought I'd point this out to you. If you look at the edge of the rug, you will notice that, as you can see in the picture, the edging is authentic. It's untouched. Whereas if you look at Collins' rug, you will notice that the edge was replaced, it was repaired. It was basically redone years ago. That is why the edge has a slightly different color. He didn't spend a whole lot of money on the rug. And the fact that the edge was redone ensures that the rug is going to last. But when you talk about value, one of the things that people who are into the antique rugs, the older rugs, one of the things that they want is untouched. It is better to have a rug that has flaws, but where the flaws were left intact, than it is to have an old rug where things were redone. And just as I mentioned to you in this piece right here, this rug was left as is. So you have some of the spots, you have some of the unevenness, but this is an untouched antique rug, and that is what makes this piece so valuable. So as I've done in the past, I have lots of links and everything below. And so I wanted to introduce you to what I call the other type of Kurdish rug, which I have made several videos about the Bidjars. And so in this video, I thought I'd introduce you to the Sanandaj. So as I always do, I'm going to get behind the camera here in a little bit. I'm going to show you some of the details. And then I'm going to come back to you and say my quick goodbyes to you. So I'm going to see you again here in just a minute. Here we are back again with the close-ups, and I'm just going to start out with, this is a more classic borderline between a Senneh and a Bidjar. And as you can see here by the colors, very earthly colors. This is classic for the Kurdish, the tribal rugs. It's just absolutely beautiful to look at. This is something that right now is, this is about 30 years old. We're guessing this rug, 20, 30 years old. Not much in terms of value now, but this is a type of rug that in 100 years from now will be worth quite a bit. And these are, like I said, these are rugs that have the very similar, this is a mix between the Kurdish, like I said, this is a Persian knot, but it's a very firm wool. Typically no silk. And these can have anywhere from 100 to 200 knots per square inch. It's not about luxury, it's about durability. And the best way to put them is, to me, these are like a solid pair of Levi's. And being that as you've seen in the video, so I'm always wearing my Levi's, I have absolutely no problems complimenting them on it. But you can see also by the colors, these are very earthly colors. This piece may actually have been made with vegetable dyes. I believe so. But it's not something I'm 100% sure about. Now, the antique piece, this is a whole different story. This is, all 100% vegetable dye. And it's just, this is a collector's piece. This is something that is, again, it's a very old kelim, the workmanship and everything, it dates back. This is, we're talking about a rug that is well over 100 years old. This is something that a person would have in a special home. Obviously, very long runner, but it's just an absolute beautiful example of what an antique Persian rug is all about. And again, you can see the similarities in the design, even though there is a difference of about a century. You can see the colors and the designs and how similar